everybody, this is Marie and welcome to Marie's Chatty Tarot, and today we're going to be talking about Kanye West. He had an interview done a couple of days ago with Tucker Carlson where he was talking about his views, um, and I think that it will be a nice topic for today. Um, a lot of people in the mainstream media uh, have been attacking him, that he is not right not sane of mind. However, based on what I saw, on the few clips that I saw on pertaining to the interview, he seemed very logical with his thought process, with his thinking, and with his conclusions. Um, so we do know that the media tend to exaggerate or change the narrative as soon as, or attack of person's character as soon as that person is no longer following the cult, following the script. And so I wanted to see what the cards wants to say about um, uh, you know, Kanye West. And I think he recently changed his name to Ye, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see what the cards wants to say about Kanye, uh, coming out really as a true conservative. Because the interview, on the interview, he really talked about, being pro-life. He talked about, liking Mr. President Trump, and he talked about a number of things. So I'm curious to see what the cards wants to say. Is it the signal? Is it, let's see what the cards just want to say about that. About Kanye. Oh, and for those interested, today I'm going to be using the Grudge Tarot. It's a pretty cool and funky deck of cards. It's unique, and I think using it for Kanye West or Ye, his new name, will be fitting. So let's see what the cards wants to say about, Kanye being a conservative now, like really coming out as a true conservative after he divorced his wife, Kim Kardashian. Or this interview, the timing of the interview. I think probably the best question is to ask, what does the card wants to say about Kanye West being conservative, and the timing of this interview, because I thought that was interesting in itself. So, 8 of Pentacles is the first card. This is the Temperance card as the situation, right? This is the 10 of Cups in the past. Seven of Pentacles in the present. This is the 6 of Cups in potential outcome. King of Pentacles, clarification. And 2 of Cups as clarification. Okay, cool. Looks like everything's in frame. So the first card is a card of 8 of Pentacles. So 8 of Pentacles, if you can see, is this gentleman, sitting on the bed and working on his guitar. Uh, Working on his guitar, but also, so all Eight of Cups is working on physical something, either resources or his product or money, or it could be a project. So he's working on on making sure that his fruit, his labors come to fruition. But in this sense, he's really, not only is he working on his project, he's working on his resources or business or uh, bettering himself. He's also evaluating or assessing uh, uh, himself at this moment in time. So I guess the interview was not only for, was as if the interview was more for himself as a way to, in retrospect, or to self-reflect about, you know, himself, about how far he's come or what he's accomplished, or uh, where to go from there. So that's interesting. And the King of Pentacle underneath. So the King of Pentacle is a gentleman that is connected to the earth, meaning somebody who's very successful, very practical, very able to manifest success in the physical plane. And he has. Kanye has created, uh, 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 come to the scene through music, and he recently transitioned, or a few years ago, into fashion, where he's into the urban design, urban wear. So King of Pentacles is showing that him being, you know, him being able to, he mastered he mastered uh, uh, success, mastered how to be successful in the physical realm. So that's interesting. Temperance card, situation. So it looks like with the Temperance card, he's at a place in time where he is uh, finally in balance, finally uh, whole, no longer uh, in one extreme or the other. So I think maybe the divorce was a good thing for him, uh, because of that Temperance card. I wonder if, uh, you know, there maybe, you know, being in that relationship was pulling him in different extremes, because, you know, we all find out that he became a born again Christian again. It's highly possible that uh, Kim and him were probably not moving in the same direction. So right now, as it stands, it looks like he is in harmony with himself, in harmony with who he is, and finding balance emotionally, uh, for sure. So that's a beautiful thing to see. And with the Two of Cups is in a card of agreement. So I wonder, again, emotion. So I'm seeing a lot of a water sign here. It's as if emotionally, not only he made this agreement to himself, but it looks like he's back to a place of balance, a place of an emotional agreement, emotional, like a vow that he made to himself, to uh, agreement to stay in balance, or to stay in his knowing, or to maintain emotional disagreement that he made to himself, just uh, to stay whole, or to find oneness. So that's interesting. With the Ten of Cups in the background, Ten of Cups in the background tells me that that relationship was a facade. Maybe as soon as Kanye came in there, uh, uh, I wonder if it was like an arranged marriage, because we know that sometimes, you know, for the sake of publicity or stunts, uh, you know, actors will marry or get engaged. So it seems like, I don't know if it was a fake marriage or whatever it was. It was a facade for a while. It wasn't real. And I don't know when it stopped being real, but the card is saying that with the 10 card, all 10 is ending. And usually the 10 card, cups, is a card of happiness, of fulfillment. But in this particular sense, it could be all of it. It could be, yes, they might have been happy at one point, but it could be also mean a facade that, after it's, you know, also became a facade as well. So the relationship stopped being a happy, and then it kind of slowly got into being a facade where everybody's trying to maintain an air of happiness, of togetherness, when they were not. The marriage or the relationship was crumbling. With the Seven of Pentacle is um, Seven of Pentacle is working on the fruit of your labor, waiting for the labor to come to fruit. So right now, it's as if the card is trying to say, with the Seven of Pentacle, that the the labor is his labor is coming to fruition. That he's worked hard with the Eight of Pentacle and focusing on his craft, and in doing that, he was able to lay the foundation for success to come through. And right now, he's in the process of assessing, evaluating, uh, you know, and coming in a balance, coming in a tempered way, coming from, you know, more, uh, I'm not saying sane, but more in a clearer manner for him, and he could basically see his labor, his fruit of his labor coming to fruition, right? With the Six of Cups, with a potential outcome, it feels like this interview was more about wanting to share his point of view, his feelings about who he was, who he is, what he stands for. And it feels like he wanted people to see him in a different light. Not from the standpoint of a person who's erratic or being bipolar, or whichever smear campaign that the media was seeing, but somebody who's balanced in mind, in spirit, in thoughts, and in emotions. I think that was the point uh, of the interview. That was the agreement. That was the whole point, to see him as a successful person. To see him as a successful person, a person who's able to manifest wealth in the physical world, who's very successful, who's very uh, and who's not afraid to share, not afraid or to share his thought, you know, and that's a beautiful card. So Eight of Wands is that things are gonna get very King of Sword and King of Wands. So it looks like, after this interview, I'm putting two more cards. The Eight of Wands is a card of fast moving, either information or downloads. So those things are gonna be moving fast for him. King of Wands, and that's gonna propel him even further. That's gonna motivate him even further, because wands are uh, motivation, inspiration, creativity. So this interview looks like it was more for him. It was more, to show that he's been working on being successful, finding balance within himself. And that was the agreement that he made, that he wants with himself, basically. That for a very long time, his relationship has been a facade. And then now that he's working on different project that he wants to share with the world, that he wants to come to fruition, and he wants to share that. He wants the world to see him in a different light, and he wants the world to see him as a person who's successful, who's uh, who's willing to share, and somebody who's committed uh, in his uh, pursuit. And after this, this interview, furthermore, he's gonna get a whole new burst of energy or inspiration coming from this, uh, rush from this, and to propel him in a whole different level. And I think that interview uh, really opened the eyes of a lot of people. So that's the card, and the cards reflects this. So that's beautiful. Um, Thank you for making it this far with me. Uh, Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Thank you.